welcome back. Well, let's go across to Vinit Bolinjkar as well. He's the head of research at Ventura Securities, who's joining us on the show to talk to us about what's happening with respect to the Adani Hindenburg issue, which was heard at the Supreme Court. We understand that the expert committee's reports have been made public. And Vinit, the first reading suggests that prima facie there's a clean chit which has been given to the Adani Group. Your reading of the latest developments?
Absolutely. So, if we were to go by a couple of things is that, that the Hindenburg entities made profit short selling the stock. So that is a claim which is going, which was alleged on the Adanis is actually towards the shareholders who are benefiting prior to the Hindenburg report coming out. So that is one. Second is, where they have said that, no prima facie any violations are found on and disclosures were made very prim and proper. And the only fact remains that as far as the 13 overseas entities and 42 contributors to assets under management, they do not have any information because they do not have access to them. And there is also a point which is made that whether, report leaves to SEBI to decide if the pending discovery of 13 entities can be, further case can be made out against them. So very, very positive, and it clears the air around Adani. And, this now paves the way for the company to, get a clean chit from investors. And, this is paving the way for getting the growth capital back. So I believe a very, very strong positive, and I expect that these stocks will get re-rated sharply in the coming few weeks.
Sharply in the coming few weeks, but if you had to make the top recommendations or the favorites within the entire Adani Group, because there's a lot, right from power to cement to what's happening with ports, etc. What would be your top pick?
So, if you are a value player, then your the go-to stock should be Adani Ports as a top pick with Adani Total Gas, right? But if you were to look at momentum and high growth stocks, I would definitely go with Adani Enterprises, Adani Transmission, and the cement pack of stocks. Of course, Adani Ports and Adani Transmission, Adani Total Gas also becomes a part of it. As far as Adani Green is concerned, they need a lot of money. So we need to see how their plans shape up as far as Adani Green is concerned. So that would be my picking order.
Since you talked about Adani Enterprises and the other Adani group of companies as well, we understand that the entire group is looking at raising around 21,000 crore rupees via QIP, etc. as well. The exact manner is not discussed yet, but what do you think will it do with respect to diluting the minority shareholders? And if at all, people should subscribe for that. If at all it comes through rights issue, it's not been disclosed yet. Looks like it's going to be a private placement, but nonetheless, what do you make of the fundraise?
No, definitely, as I said, the fundraise is positive for the growth capital of the group. The group is very hungry for cash. And this will put the plans of the company, which were on the back burner towards growth, and they were consolidating the balance sheet so far, will now once again be, catered for growth. And we will see these stocks moving up. So Adani Enterprises will get a lot of visibility around its green hydrogen story. And, prior to the fallen FPO, we had put out a aggressive target on Adani Enterprises. So, suddenly those numbers will come back in stream, and we think that Adani will move very handsomely over the next few days.
Okay, fair enough. So, Vinit, just wanted to understand from you the kind of message this move is sending across for further such cases in corporate India, and what could potentially be now the next course of action?
So I expect the Adanis to possibly, file defamation charges against the Hindenburg for false claims being made. But that is only my guess. I wouldn't be very sure what the plans of the company would be. And secondly, it redeems one of India's largest corporate entities, of any wrongdoings. And that paves the way for instilling more confidence in the India growth story and corporate governance in India. Because by bringing up this issue of Hindenburg short selling Adani and on the allegations made. It was actually a question mark raised on the corporate governance standards of the country. So with that now out of the way, I think this will go a long way, and it could, indirectly also possibly help improve the ratings of the country as such.
Okay, so that's the take coming in. But Vinit, just before we let you go, it looks like it's going to be a bit more time before the final verdict is out, because the SEBI has asked for an extension, whether it's 3 months, 6 months, that's being debated for now. But in the meantime, do you think one should stay away from the counters, or one should use this correction that the stock is trading at attractive valuations to buy into the stocks at this point of time?
So, up till now, prior to this judgment coming in, I have always been advocating that, you stay clear until the air is completely cleared of it. But, the language of the report is such that it makes me believe that, investors can take a bit of a risk and, start nibbling at these counters now. Maybe not go all in completely right away, but you can definitely, if you are wanting to buy, you could buy up to 50% of your asset allocation that you were looking to do towards these counters.
Okay, Vinit, there were a lot of allegations that was put, whether in terms of the shell companies that were there. We got the clarification from the Maldivian government as well with respect to that. There were questions being raised about some irregular transactions and debt as well. Do you think all of those questions have now been answered? In fact, the Adani Group managed to prepay a lot of their, debt as well. How do you think the balance sheets of the companies are looking at this point of time?
See, we have to understand one thing is that the Adani Group is in the infrastructure space, right? And infrastructure companies globally have got leverage balance sheets which can range between 1:3 to 1:4. And Adani was always in that gap, in that range. And now over the last 2 quarters, it is my estimate that, that leverage has come down a bit, which is very healthy for the company. And with, as well as for the group, and with the fundraise that they are going, it is going to bolster the equity component. And that is now going to help the company, raise debt more comfortably, more responsibly. They would have also realized that, anything from the blue can come and hit you, so they would be more measured in their growth plans and leverage, and that bolsters my confidence in the management, and I expect it to be a far better performer going ahead. One more thing that we must understand is that, earlier investors were very, very wishy-washy about investing in the group, especially institutional investors. But with the air being cleared around the group, I think the institutional investors and global investors would also come and invest in this, because, you're getting very, very high growth companies which are very, very large in their own sectors, exposure at very, very cheap valuations as of now. So, there can be a substantial rethink on the part of the institutional investors with a positive mindset towards the group companies.
All right, appreciate your time. Thank you, Vinit, for putting all those details into perspective.